time is just a few years into the future, and the weaponry of our national defense is startlingly different. For now, soldiers stalk the battlefield encased in body armor. Using video and infrared vision to locate and target opponents. Attack aircraft soar faster, stealthier, and deadlier than anything flying today. Amphibious landing craft not only whiz troops to the beach, but once ashore, streak miles inland to unload. Stealth ships slice through the seas, undetected by radar, as if they were ghosts. Hello, I'm Amanda Grove. Welcome to World Museum Classics. What you've just seen might appear to be science fiction, but it's well on its way to becoming standard issue for U.S. military forces around the world. It's also the focus of a very special exhibit called Defending Our Future, Defense Technology for the 21st Century. And it's being held here in New York City at the Intrepid Sea, Air, Space Museum. Not only is the exhibit unusual, but the museum itself is one of the most unique in the world, having seen far more than its share of excitement long before it held its first exhibit. For the Intrepid Museum is a rugged piece of history, a World War II aircraft carrier. Formerly known as the Fighting Eye, this battle-scarred veteran and her crews forged a distinguished service record.
Intrepid, as its name implies, is both courageous and fearless. She has a magnificent history. Her keel was laid in 1941 and she was commissioned in 1943 and immediately set sail for the Pacific, where she participated in the Battle of Truk and was struck by a torpedo. After returning to service, she participated in the largest naval battle in the history of mankind, the Battle of Leyte Gulf. She was struck by 2 kamikazes. She had to be refitted again, and as her name implies, she came back and participated in battles in 1945.
After the ship was modernized in the late 1950s with an angled deck, she came back into service, this time as a prime recovery vessel for NASA. And she recovered both Mercury and Gemini space flights. She then did 4 tours in Vietnam and ended her career in the 1970s as an anti-submarine warfare ship. She was retired in 1974 and it opened as a museum in 1982 and really began a second career in service of the nation as a major museum.
Now docked alongside the submarine Growler and the destroyer Edson, the Intrepid serves as a memorial to the men and women of all services past, present, and future. On board are exhibits on the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. Located below deck in a portion of what was once the aircraft hangar, Defending Our Future ushers visitors into a world of futuristic technology. Here, amid interactive consoles and overhead video displays, the public gets a privileged peek at some of our country's newest aircraft, ships, submarines, and fighting vehicles. But why an exhibit on these advanced additions to our nation's arsenal?
Throughout world history, we've seen major technological changes in warfare, whether it be from the longbow to gunpowder, the machine gun in World War I, air power in World War II. We've seen major technological changes which have totally affected the face of battle. We expect the same in the 21st century.
Throughout military history, holding the high ground was the important thing. Obviously, to be able to look down on your enemies, throw stones at them, whatever you had. In today's age, the high ground is technology. It's information, it's the space age, And the military needs to hold on to this high ground through these advancements that we're talking about in this exhibit. We wanted to provide a wow factor, which museums need to do these days. When you walk into the hall, you see the big picture, the wide screen, the jet flying across the screen. We wanted them to feel that they were seeing something different, something they didn't expect in a museum. Now you're in there, you're in the system. It's as if you've logged onto the Pentagon, and you can go to each different service and let each different service tell you its mission statement and then tell you the hottest stuff that you're allowed to know about. And then you can also get a glimpse at some of the things that aren't built yet, some of the things that are still coming down the pike.
Want a real glimpse into this high-tech world? All it takes is the touch of a button. One of the most exciting aircraft featured in the exhibit is the F-22 Raptor. It's said to employ a deadly combination of stealth, speed, maneuverability, and firepower to gain the upper hand.
The F-22 Raptor is going to be, for lack of a better term, the hottest thing in the sky. It's going to be an air superiority fighter, the likes of which we've never seen before. It's going to employ such techniques as super cruise technology, so we can get to the battle scene sooner and stay there longer. Its job is to knock out all competition in the air so that the following waves of tactical fighter bombers are free to do their jobs.
Our forces will be able to be sustained because they are at a standoff from our enemies and our adversaries. They will be able to be much more lethal because of the precision-guided munitions that we have. We'll be able to communicate with one another because of the enhanced communications capability that we have. And also because of stealth technology, we will not be able to be seen by our enemies and our adversaries.
Defending our future has a high-tech look that fits well with the subject matter. It serves as a portal into an arena whose weapons we hope are never used, whose very existence is deterrence enough to prevent that necessity. The Fighting Eye, now the Intrepid Sea Air Space Museum, offers a variety of other exhibits, all of which help visitors get in touch with our country's military history. Not the least of which can be found here. How's this for an exhibit space? The entire flight deck arrayed with aircraft from all 5 services. Some used in battle, some for reconnaissance, others to save lives.
Unlike a lot of other museums, which are concrete structures filled with artifacts, the Intrepid is the artifact. It's a living piece of history, sailing through history and on into the future.
What we're trying to do is ensure that all Americans who come to see this sacred place recognize not only the selfless service of the sailors who served on here during World War II, during the Cold War, and in Vietnam, but also all the men and women in uniform who sacrifice throughout our history to preserve our way of life.
America has a long and proud military tradition. In fact, we're reminded that we owe our freedom to those who in times past were willing to pick up arms in defense of it. As we enter the 21st century, that defense may hinge as much on new and increasingly complex technology as on the dedicated men and women who command it. Here at the intrepid Sea, Air, Space Museum, defending our future stands as a fitting and very arresting tribute, both to a new generation of advanced fighting machines and to those who must take them into harm's way. Thank you for joining us on this edition of World Museum Classics. I'm Amanda Grove. See you next time.